What is going on, guys? Sir Lewis here with your Toshi update video. Did Toshi top out? Is it over for Toshi? I'm gonna give you guys here an in-depth update starting from low time frames to higher time frames and really dig deep here, and also give you some levels if Toshi continues this downtrend along with Bitcoin and the overall market. Where can Toshi go down to? That would be a really good price to buy. Okay, so we're starting here with the 4-hour for Toshi. And we can see we were basically in a broadening wedge, right? Which is basically, it's like a megaphone pattern, which it looks like a megaphone, right? You can see right here. This is what we're at the moment, what Toshi's been in at the moment. So we can definitely have a big reversal eventually, right? But what I want to pin out here on the 4-hour, which you can see on the Gaussian channel, the middle band right there was a big rejection level. But what I want to pin out here is this bearish divergence here that we had before this big drop, where Toshi put in a higher high, but we put in a lower high on stochastics, right? That was a big bearish signal right there, and it played out. We broke to the downside, put in a lower low, and most likely here the odds are as we test our previous daily low here, our lowest daily low, even from the flash crash, right? This was the lowest daily low here for Toshi. It's a big chance we go down here to find a double bottom, and I'm bullish on that possibility because we are getting some bullish divergence here on the 4-hour. So most likely we're going to definitely find some support there. And here my cheat sheet, again, you guys can access this in my course and everything. You can see right here, bearish divergence right there, which I showed you right there for Toshi, that played out. And then bullish hidden divergence, right, where we're putting in a possible higher low for Toshi right here, right, higher low. But then the stochastic is putting in lower lows on the 4-hour. So it is starting to play out already. So I would expect Toshi to find a bottom here, basically double bottom. Okay. But if it doesn't, right, or if it does and then it puts in a lower low and breaks that low, I'll show you guys here some levels here. So I wanted to show this on the 4-hour. Let's go here to the daily because I want to dig deep and give you guys here some in-depth analysis here on the possibility of Toshi topping out and where it can possibly come down to. Now, one thing that's, on the daily, we're extremely oversold. Okay, same thing on the 4-hour, extremely oversold, so much that we're putting in lower lows, as you can see right there for stochastic, for even the money flow in green. This is my own indicator, by the way. If you guys are interested in my indicators, you can check it out in my WAP. Should be in the description below. But again, we're also getting bullish divergence here because, let me see. Actually, we're not. Yeah, on the daily, we're not, right? Because we put in a lower low here. So we're not getting bullish divergence on the daily. But it's still bullish that we're getting, we're extremely oversold, right? You want to be buying when we're extremely oversold like this, not overbought like we were right here when Toshi basically topped out here, okay? So can Toshi break this level? If it breaks this level, you will definitely, there's a big chance we can come down and test that 200 MA here on the daily, okay? But obviously by then we might be up here around 00062, okay? So we can have another leg down here. To test, I would say the support would be around 00062, 00060, yeah, 62 around here somewhere, basically on the top of this pennant that Toshi broke out of, okay? And you can see right there on the daily. Also on the daily, you can see how the 50 MA, we lost that 50 MA. So that's bearish right here. You can see how we just can't close above it the last basically 5-6 days, right? We just can't break above the 50, which is in green right there. So we lost that. So there's a big chance we come down to the 200. Let me actually check and see where the 100 is. Yeah, we also lost the 100, which is right there in purple. So the 200 right there on the daily is a big target. And on the 3-day, surprisingly, on the 3-day, the 50 MA is a big target too, because basically about 6 days ago, that's where we basically flash crashed down here, right? After the big flash crash, Toshi came down here to the 3-day 50 MA. Exactly to the T at 00063, and right now it's around 00063 as well right here. So there's a big chance we can retest that. It also acted as support right here, a lot of support. So yeah, this is looking like Toshi will most likely come down with the market to that 50 MA here on the 3-day, which is 00063, 00062 would be perfect too with this 200 MA on the daily. Okay, on the weekly, you can see that the week, it's so much confluence here. I'm getting so much signals here based on the MAs on different time frames. This is why you want to always look at different time frames. But even on the weekly, the 25 and 21 is around that 00064, 00063 level, as you can see right there. And we can see last time, you know, Toshi came down here, massive support, massive pump. So, you know, this pullback, you know, everyone is super bearish. I would say we only top out if we break out, if we break the bullish structure, which is this massive uptrend that Toshi is still in. But how do we break that bullish structure? Well, number one thing would be breaking the 21 and 25. So meaning we would come down here, and on the weekly, we would close below that 21 and 25 here. Okay, we get a weekly close, which is very unlikely, right? The probability of this happening is very unlikely, in my opinion. I would rather buy with the fear, with how much it's oversold and all these things, believing that Toshi does hold this level like it did right here, right? And we continue this massive uptrend, okay? So you can see that right there on the weekly. And on the monthly, if you take a look here on the monthly, okay, Toshi still on the month. I mean, there's still a chance we can flip green here. Most likely we won't, right? Unless the market has a big swing up here towards the end of October, the last week of October possibly. Then there's a possibility we can come back here to that Fibonacci level of 00073. That would probably be the massive resistance level right there. So there's a chance Toshi can come back only if the market pulls back up, right? But the main hint here, the main hint is that 21 and 25 on the weekly, which is right there around 00065, 00064. So we can come down and retest it if we close below that on the weekly. If we get a very obvious close below that, then that signals more downside for Toshi, and possibly that the top is in. Okay, but this is a situational, right? This is if this, then that. I would say most likely the top is not in, and we're pulling back here, showing some bullish divergence here on multiple time frames, as I just pointed out here, right on the day, on the 4-hour and other time frames, and on the 3-day, that same level. So there's a lot of support right here for Toshi around the 00064, 00063. So just so you know, if we have another massive dump to the downside, this is where I believe Toshi will find support, as you can see right there on the 3-day. And we're finally oversold on the 3-day. The last time we were this oversold was right here. So even look, the 3-day is gonna have some bullish divergence, which is major. So we were oversold right here on the 3-day. Now, even if we dump down here to that 50 MA on the 3-day, right, find support there, we're still mega bullish because we're actually putting in a higher low, but we're also in the same level here of oversold. Even if we're in the same level, we don't have to go lower, but even if we're in the same level, that's bullish divergence here according to my cheat sheet, which again is available in my course. Okay, right here, right, equal bottom, higher low stochastic. Oh, my bad, it's not that one. It's this one. Higher low, but then lower low, right? Or equal low, lower low. Let me see here. Yeah, so higher low and then lower low, right? So you can see right there. Most likely, I would get right now. We're not lower low here in stochastic because we haven't dumped yet. But I would expect if we have that dump to this level, we would definitely move more down here on the stochastic and put in the lower low, most likely, which is bullish divergence. So I'm very bullish on Toshi. I would say the probability is we do hold this level if we dump here with the market pulling back, right? But if you compare Toshi to many other altcoins, Toshi is looking extremely bullish, right? It's still in this massive, nice uptrend here. We're pulling back here to these key critical levels, filling in all these gaps here from the past, because you got to understand, this is actually a gap right here. If you look here on the 3-day, you see how we have this massive pump? You see this level right here? We have this massive God candle. Okay, well, look, there's nothing that filled that except right now. We're filling that right now. You see this right here? So we're filling that gap right now with this candle. So we can definitely come down here, fill in the rest of the gap, and then up we go. Bullish divergence, right? Everyone is scared for their life. Everyone is panic selling Toshi. So I'm bullish on Toshi. I do not believe the top is in. Again, I bring you guys the most in-depth updates here for Toshi, showing you guys here the raw truth analysis that usually goes against what the media is, right? What the majority of people on CryptoX, influencers are saying, everyone turning bearish. So I just keep it honest with you guys, but also keep it real too, right? If Toshi does lose a level, I showed you, if Toshi loses a level, closes below a level, then that's a big red flag. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my indicators if you guys are interested. Check out BitUnix, a great exchange, should be in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.